I just got a call from one of my closest friends, Adele, saying that she's left something out on my stoop. Hi, where? Oh my god, you're so cute.
Happy Easter.
Oh, hug.
I miss you.
I miss you too. Oh my god, this is so sad that I can't hug you right now.
It's okay, it'll be worth it in the end.
You're the first friend I've seen in 4 weeks, Adele. This is too much.
Sorry, so little.
You guys, that was so cute. Oh, I'm so blessed to have finally found amazing friends in New York. Adele was cycling around and she dropped me off a little Irish chocolate bar. So nice to see her in person, even if it is 6 foot away. But we talk all the time on like FaceTime and stuff anyways. Very appreciative my neighbours have chosen classical today and not anything annoying. It's beautiful. Let's just all take a deep breath in together, shall we? Hello, my beautiful people, welcome back. Feels good to have the camera on. And I've decided to kind of do a real-time vlog actually, because Saturday is fast becoming my favorite day of the week in my quarantine routine. And even though I don't usually work, I just wanted to share it. So I'm gonna work and play. Way like in real life, like pre-pandemic, on a Saturday, we would all just be buzzing around and like getting dressed up for the weekend. That is the kind of high vibe that I try and channel on a Saturday. I'm not quite looking forward to editing this later, but excited to share the day with you. And I actually am going to be doing a Q&A as well, sharing my thoughts on some topics that you sent in and just having our normal chill one-to-one time. Everyone that sent the questions in on Instagram, thank you very much. Your first time having sex, lol, and what advice would you have? Whoa, 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 chillax. We don't roll like that. That's a lie, we absolutely do roll like that, but warm a girl up first. We'll answer that one later. I mean, let's be real, we're all here for the juicy questions, aren't we? How have you been keeping your energy, your mood, and your vibration high during quarantine? I was so blown away by the response in the last 5 minutes of my previous vlog where I talked about sort of how I had been coping thus far. Really since then, I've just been upkeeping like my new normal, like just trying to create a routine in all of this madness. And I'm under no illusion, like I'm very privileged. I have this beautiful space that I get to hold up in. I don't have any responsibilities other than myself right now. So I've been just trying to make the most of that and do things that are good and healthy for my mind while I'm stuck inside, because since New York became the epicenter of the pandemic, I really have not been leaving the house. I go out maybe every 3 or 4 days to get some groceries, keeping my mind occupied and busy has been a huge, no right or wrong way to navigate this pandemic, but for me personally, just trying to kind of set myself like a personal goal of coming out of here better than when I went in, and working on the things that I wanted to improve. But in terms of myself, just doing stuff that makes me feel good, especially in regards to like my health and my fitness. I've been eating really well, cooking a lot, obviously. My 5th live online workout this morning with session. If you follow me on Instagram, like this will all be, you'll all be very familiar with my daily routine. I've definitely found that sweating every day releases so many endorphins, makes my day so much more productive, puts me in a good mood. And when I don't, I just have the laziest unproductive days, which is okay too. I make room for those. Getting dressed, I know wearing jeans in quarantine has become a bit of a taboo, but like, it's Saturday, I want to feel good. I'm in my normal clothes. I even put on nice underwear that makes me feel good. What have you learned about yourself from living in New York City? I think the biggest thing I learned is how to be completely and truly independent. I feel so proud of myself for completely releasing all of my codependency on just about every aspect of my life. Just learning that there's nothing that I can't do, get, or attain in this life by myself. New Yorkers just have this innate survival spirit that people that come from other countries and come to live here really get to experience and be a part of. That's a common thread I've seen with all New Yorkers going through this pandemic. No matter how bad things get, there's just this attitude of, we're gonna get it done. Gotta do what you gotta do, and we're gonna get it done. And it's something that I will leave this place with. I took a break to call my Irish mammy because it is Easter weekend after all, and you gotta come through. While I was chatting to her, I also put my hair in heatless waves. I'm not going to keep them in all day, but even just putting them up for a couple of hours kind of gets rid of a lot of the frizz. If I go outside now, it should set pretty well because it is a gorgeous blue sky day today. I'm so glad I saved my shop essentials trip for today. I haven't been on the subway, guys, in a month. I haven't been to Manhattan in a month. That to me is mind blowing. But yeah, I'm just very fortunate that I don't need to go that far. I don't need to be out for too long. I should be back in like 15 minutes. I'm going to go get my essentials. I'm gonna get some fresh food. I ran out of chocolate 2 days ago and my period is due. And I know all the women out there will know that that is essential. I am going to be enjoying every morsel of vitamin D that hits my face, to say the least. Never in my life did I think I'd be vlogging with an N95 mask on. Luckily for Saturday, it was not busy at all. Hope you enjoyed all of that footage. I wanted to include as much outdoor shots as possible, just in case you guys are cooped up inside as well. I know I'll be watching it back with fond memories. Like that grocery store shot, I was like, that's the money shot, riveting. Oscar nomination, what a rare sight. We're making lunch and I'm following a recipe that I've literally had saved for a week. I've been dying to get to the shop to get like the last of the ingredients. Just products finally came out in my local shops, and basically it's like a vegan egg. Make it into an omelette scrambled. It's supposed to act the exact same way as a normal egg, and genuinely it looks really good. Like, it looks eggy. Macros on it are actually not far off a normal egg in terms of like protein and fat. So I follow them on Instagram and they put up a recipe for an egg salad sandwich, and I've never even had an egg salad sandwich before, but all of the ingredients, I'm like, yes, that sounds like me. That sounds delicious. Basically, I have everything I need here. It's going to be a vegan sandwich. Really, really good. So some sourdough, whole wheat sourdough. Lemon, your favorite mayo. I absolutely love this roasted garlic veganese. I struggle to find it because it's always sold out, but it's so good. I'm going to do spring onion instead of chive. The recipe calls for chive, but I didn't have any. And some red onion, but I'm going to really make it like super like umami, and I'm going to caramelize half the onion and leave half of it raw. It's also an amazing excuse to christen my place pan. Remember in the last vlog I showed you the ceramic pieces and the glasses and the plates that came from them? Well, the pan finally arrived and it's absolutely stunning. It's like non-stick. To accompany that, I'll also be making myself I roll dalgona coffee, iced coffee, because I fell for the trend and it tastes really good and it's really sugary and I have a sweet tooth. Plenty of recipes, YouTube videos, TikToks about dalgona coffee. It's basically like a almost whipped coffee that sits on top of the milk. The only thing is I don't have any type of whisk or frother. What I've been doing is just adding the instant coffee. This is the one I've been using and oh my god. This hazelnut flavor, amazing. I will never shit on instant coffee again. 2 tablespoons of that, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of hot water. And I've just been putting it into a jar, not tightening it all the way so that some air can escape, because obviously the water is hot, but just shaking it up for like 5, 6, 7 minutes, and it gets like 80% of the consistency. I will just put the recipes for everything in the description below, but I'm not going to talk you through it because I just want to put on my chill playlist on Spotify, which you can follow, and just relax. I find cooking very therapeutic, so let's do this. Lunch is served. She's a beauty. I also added ketchup because I just can't leave things alone like that, but so excited to try it. Got my iced coffee, which is looking a bit deflated, but it still tastes good. It still tastes the same. I have to say that just egg looks exactly like scrambled egg. You would not know the difference. Oh shit. Oh my god, I nearly lost you guys. That would have been at the end of the vlog. Okay, taste test of this vegan sandwich. Hopefully it's not too oniony. I just realized afterwards that there's a lot of onion in there. It's like 2 different types of. Oh, beige but bougie. My kind of food. Let's have a little heartless waves moment, shall we? Let's see what we're working with. Do you have an IGTV on how to do this heatless soft wave hairstyle? Oof. Guys, I literally have not touched a heat tool in like a 1.5 years. Finally, it's my favorite time of the day. The sun has started to come out. We're officially in springtime light. My hand will fix it. Yeah, it's a lot brighter in real life, but as soon as I take my hand away, it's my camera trying to balance the light. It's just to sit with like my coffee in the sun, basking. Oh, hey bitch, you're back. You got $1? So we can go get a slushie. I am actually losing my mind. I blame the coffee and all of the refined sugars that are within it No fats or sugars were spared in the making of that lunch, I tell ya. Okay, more questions, and I'm gonna try and make these a little bit more quick fire. How did you find a girl group as an adult? I get this a lot from girls that are like in a similar situation to me. Maybe they've moved away from home, they've moved away from the friends that they've known their whole life. I have a lot of acquaintances, but I only have like a handful of really, really close soul sister girlfriends. In my first year of New York, I had a uni friend here, and I had Adele, who was my photographer for my blog at the time, and those friendships just got nurtured naturally, and eventually I was able to just merge all of my friends together. And honestly, it was getting really tiring trying to meet them all separately, so I just got really lucky that way. I would say if you're in a party or an event or wherever you are, if you just click with someone instantly, I would pursue those friendships over kind of like wishy-washy ones. How do you take your own self-portraits and photos? Surprisingly, I still have been posting every single day a new image pretty much, and the way that I like to self-shoot is using a little timer. You can get these little cheap ones, Bluetooth ones off Amazon. If I'm self-shooting from my DSLR, I'll use my Canon app, and I can have a live view setting on that, so I can actually set up my shot and see myself, and even like take the picture and hit the timer and everything all from my phone. So there's workarounds for everything. I have a little iPhone attachment for my tripod as well, so that along with this makes it very easy to take photos by myself. I've got a lot of ones about my sort of health and fitness journey recently. A piece of content on my Instagram, I saved it to a highlight called fitness, all about like fitness and what I've been eating, and I actually bullet pointed all of the tips that have genuinely worked for me in terms of just getting a little bit leaner and you know, keeping up my fitness and everything like that in quarantine. And people find it very valuable. But I actually, for that highlight, I made a comparison post of how I looked this time last year. I didn't actually realize till I put the two photos together how much of a difference there was. Like, I was definitely a lot more plump this time last year, and I love myself no matter what I look like, but am I enjoying being that little bit slimmer? Absolutely. Like, I've worked really hard. I think there's this thing at the moment where people think I'm dressing a bit more revealing than I usually would, but if you go back in my feed for the last year, I've actually always had the same level of confidence, and I've worked hard to have a really good relationship with my body image. Thoughts on fast fashion and buying into fast brands? This is coming from someone who has had a background in both high street fashion and the highest end designer fashion. I've worked in all of them, and I'm telling you now, there's no such thing as true slow fashion. Like, unless you're literally there making it yourself, almost all of it is fast. Like, whether you buy a high street or whether you buy a designer, the process is very similar. It's still very fast, which is why I obviously left and don't really have any plans to return as a fashion designer. But in my own personal life, like even in 2020, I've done little to no high street shopping, even like stores that I love, like Mango and things like that. I've just been really enjoying buying vintage pieces or spending a little bit more on pieces that I feel like I'll have for a long time. I mean, you guys know I dress very simply. This is the kind of stuff that I really love to wear. It's stuff that I can wear over and over again. I don't buy a lot of prints. I don't buy a lot of things I'm gonna get bored of quickly. I think for me, it's become less about fashion and more about personal style in terms of inspiration, and that's what I love about shopping vintage as well. I think a vintage piece just adds character to an outfit that you just can't buy from new items. Oh, look at that beautiful sunset. I cannot believe it's almost 6 o'clock. On Saturdays, we disco. We have a full-on dance party, like nobody's watching. In the flat, I invite my neighbors through the windows to join me. Basically, on Saturdays, there's so much live music that I listen to, that I stream, and honestly, it is so much fun. Like, next weekend, tune into one of the things that I'm about to mention, or find something that's along the lines of your own interests. And the one I really look forward to every Saturday night is a Portuguese DJ called Mulinex. There he is there. I post them to his Instagram, like on IGTV, I think, so you can go back and watch old ones if the live times don't suit you. So it's a nice little 1 or 2 hour escapism for me, and it boosts my endorphins so much. I pour myself a drink at some point and I just dance. I've been really trying to add as much stuff that makes me feel good into my week, because you have to just try extra hard. Oh, music has been really getting me through, guys. I've been listening to hours and hours and hours of music. Definitely feel like I'm gonna get around to all of those juicy relationship and boy questions after I get a drink into me. The copyright free song is just not going to compare to this vibe. And that's all I'm gonna share with you. I wasn't sure about this candle right off the bat, but since I've started burning it, I am obsessed. Boy Smells, that's the brand. Oh my god, screaming. I just sprayed some of my Chanel perfume for absolutely no other reason other than to feel nicer. What kind of Libra shit is that? Take off these socks. Now that I am officially warmed up and my tongue is loosened after that lovely dance session, unfortunately, I now have to edit all of this. Are you guys having fun? I'm having a lot of fun. This was the question I touched on earlier from Haley. I think she's asking me what my first time was like and do I have any advice? Oh, do you guys remember like the horror stories you used to hear as a teen of like some girl of a friend of a friend of a friend who had like a complete disaster? I was just about 17 for my first time, and I feel like it was a good age. I felt ready. I feel like you're, you know, when you lose it, you should be ready. It's like a lifetime ago, but also kind of like it happened yesterday. I had a boyfriend at the time who I was going out with for quite a while, and to be fair, it was a really good experience. But I think being comfortable with a person obviously makes it a lot easier, and also just being relaxed, you know. Sex is a very intimate, beautiful part of life. I think if you're inexperienced, just being honest and communicating with your partner takes away a lot of the anxiety, I suppose. Of course, make sure you're not pressured into doing anything you don't want to do. Take precautions, if you know what I'm saying. Struggling with trust issues from previous relationships, how to move forward and not be afraid. Trust is definitely like something that's so hard to build up, but I think you need to remember that if you weren't the one doing the wrongdoings, then, you know, you should always give people another chance. I always say, you know, give everybody a chance until they give you a reason not to trust them. So I think working on leaving the past in the past, forgiving the situation, and moving on is a big step in trusting new people. In terms of not being afraid, I think just knowing your worth and knowing that no matter what, at the end of the day, you have yourself and that's all you need. The same girl also asked, have you and your BF ever been through rough patches, how you got through them? Of course, I've been with my boyfriend for 10 years this year, and we've had our fair share, like to this day, of ups and downs. That's kind of the point of a relationship. Like, a relationship is something that needs to be constantly worked on. It constantly needs to grow and evolve, and in doing that, you're always going to come up against boundaries and hurdles, and it's about getting through them together. I feel like the hurdles always come right after you've been at a good place for a while. You know, they just come in and they just shake things up. Guys love doing that, don't they? After you've been through the hurdle together, if you still, like, if the universe still brings you guys together and it's not toxic and you've both grown from the situation, I just keep moving forward. I think people expect relationships to be really easy, and they're not. They're really hard work, and they never stop being hard work. What is your love language and or calls? My love language is cooking. I love to feed people. I just love how like food brings people together and how like warm and just loving a good home cooked meal is. So that's definitely my love language. Calls is probably, I don't know, getting snacks from the shop for me when I don't want to go. He is a great fetcher, I will give him that. His love language though, I'd say for me is knowing how to calm me down and just being there for me, especially if I'm having like an anxiety like attack. Knows how to just be there and listen. And I think at the end of the day, like that's what I look for in a relationship, is not like fancy dates, not like extravagant gifts, it's more just someone who's actually there for you at the end of the day. How to keep a sex life interesting after a long-term relationship. I think the hardest thing in a long-term relationship is kind of like making the effort with the other person. And I don't mean like going on dates and like extravagant gifts or surprises, although those things are nice, Cathal, if you're watching. I have just learned the importance of like taking care of you and your needs and giving yourself everything you desire. Those things that you look for from another person are usually something that you need to actually give yourself. So I try and make myself feel special. I try and make the effort for myself. I want to look good, feel good for myself, and I think that becomes attractive to your partner, puts a fire in their belly. And I think when they do the same for themselves, you know, a relationship isn't about like bending over backwards for the other person. It's about being your own individual person and then coming together to create a stronger unit. I think that's important. But in terms of like practical things you can do, I suppose, I think it's really important to make the effort with how you make the other person feel. I think we forget to do that, especially ladies. We kind of like always want guys to like praise us and worship us, but we also have to kind of give out what we want to receive back. And I think a lot of men are actually a lot more insecure than you would imagine, because they're men and you expect them to be macho and they don't talk about their feelings and all of that. Women can kind of forget that like sometimes a compliment goes a long way. And also I found as well, like not looking for a man's attention really helps. I think when you try and force it, it becomes really unattractive. But if you just live and breathe a little bit of your own sensuality, I think that in itself really helps in making it feel like a more natural coming together. Sorry, I had to see if my battery was still going. But next one, would you have been a long-term relationship gal even if you weren't with Cathal, do you think? Yes, I'm a Libra sun, and I feel like Libras like really look for stable long-term relationships. And also I'm not the kind of person that like falls in love a lot or falls in love very easily. Like I've been lucky to feel very strongly for, you know, at least two people in my life, and I've ended up going out with both of them, and they're pretty much the only people I've ever had like proper feelings for. I know people out there will know what I'm talking about when you just feel like that deep soul connection with someone within the first couple of minutes of talking. And that for me is like they need to feel like I've known them my whole lives, like I've known them in a past life, like that kind of connection where it's almost just like telepathic with somebody else. Like once you've had that once, you won't want anything else again. You'll search for that over and over, and I'm very lucky to have experienced that in my life. But I also really admire people that can fall in love like a lot. Like I think that's such a beautiful thing as well. And I think this is a really nice last question. It's a steps / how to get back in tune with yourself when coming out of a negative phase of life. I totally relate. I had my like dark night of the soul, God, like a year and a half ago, I want to say. I think it was around maybe like the first year living in my old flat. I was so depressed, and I keep saying it, but like I've only recently come to terms with the fact that I was actually like depressed and was suffering from anxiety for the first time. And I didn't know what any of these feelings meant, honestly. I'd never experienced them before. I didn't really know that that's what I was going through. The first step in ending that cycle for me, when I just hit that breaking point, was just going out and doing things that really empowered me. And I just had to be completely selfish for a while and just think about raising my own vibration, raising my mood, doing things and only doing things that made me feel good about myself. So I started boxing regularly, and that just filled me with so much like female empowerment and just strength, and it really just kind of snowballed from there, just doing one thing for myself and then just continuing, also just like removing both the emotional and physical things that were holding me back, whether it just be thoughts or whatever, and just leaving them in the past and moving forward. When it comes down to breaking a negative cycle, you really just have to start doing everything the opposite of what you're doing, because obviously that was not working for you. So just trying to do like a full 180. Sometimes when you're stuck in that hole, you kind of want the universe to fix it for you, but you really do have to take control and take responsibility for making yourself feel better. I think realizing that sometimes you do need to do like a polar shift in your life to get you back on track is definitely what has helped me, and I feel like a completely new person in the last year. I heard this really lovely saying recently, and it went something like, if there's no happiness in your life, go seek it. You know what, I have a feeling this video is going to be long enough, so I am going to say goodbye to you here. Farewell until next week, hopefully. I think I might do an outfits video next week, like a little quarantine what I've been wearing situation. Maybe add in some other things, kind of like a hybrid video like this one. Let me know if you have any suggestions. Yeah, I hope you're all keeping it together. Got this. Stay inside, folks. This is me giving you a big virtual air hug. I hope you feel better after watching this video, and I will see you guys soon.